Anna Shaw, thank you so much for doing this. Absolute pleasure to connect. Always a pleasure to connect. And I just wanted to say a quick thank you before we dive in for taking the time to do this. You, like everyone in this space, are working the equivalent of 3 full-time jobs. And so
Yeah.
10 minutes to have this conversation is like 2 hours. So thank you very much.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Chris. Thank you
Awesome.
for having me.
Oh, it's absolutely. So let me ask you, like, just give us a sense of who you are and if possible, the 30-second snapshot of QCC, despite its incredible history. Yeah, who are you? What do you guys do? And then we'll dive in.
Excellent. So QCC, also known as Quarter Century Club, is a not-for-profit organization for Ontario public service workers and those who serve the public in Ontario. We've also expanded our membership to include broader public service and not-for-profits as well. We're an organization that has transformed over time. We are a 75-year-old organization, but really we are in such a big transformation right now that we would almost call ourselves a startup, because we are undergoing a transformation and to better serve our members who do so much for helping us here in Ontario.
Yeah, one of the things that really struck me when we started working together was the size and breadth and actually the complexity of your audience. Mm-hmm. And it is simultaneously your strength and probably your biggest challenge because of the kind of the levels of complexity. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like now I've led you into this question, but yes. Feel free to say anything other than audience. What were the challenges, the things that you were struggling with when you kind of finally gave in and decided that we had to work together to solve this problem? Like what was the problem that you're experiencing?
Well, everybody moved digital, but QCC has not. And it really is the way the organization was structured. We met in person to celebrate and recognize those in public service, or we sent out a quarterly magazine. And that really was the basis. But ever changing here in the environment of everybody going digital, we need to overcome major obstacles in order to get to the same place so that we can engage with our members better than we currently are. And so we had a database that was over 100,000 members, but had never been cleaned. And we needed to make sure that it was CASL compliant. So we underwent a project where we made sure that everybody we communicated with is CASL compliant, and they want to hear from us, and that we offer value what they want to hear and the information that they want. So we've completed that project and we've now launched the digital platform. And interesting part there was as we're rebranding and changing, we put webinars actually as, maybe 2 years out, but because of COVID, it was one of our silver linings in that we needed to pivot quickly to stay connected with our members. And so we launched webinars, learned about them, launched them, and they've been quite successful for us. So we're really happy with how things have been transforming.
You underwent the digital revolution. Mm-hmm. With the rest of the world took 5-10 years, and you went through it in like 4 months or something like that.
Yeah, within a year, exactly.
And then to me, the stress of looking at this massive database and saying we could lose it all, but we have to do the right thing and figure out who our membership is and all that stuff. Talk about like tumultuous major change for your organization. And then to be to be given the goal of monetizing it from a sponsorship perspective. And that's where we started to work together. And I won't lie. What's that?
We knew because we were doing a magazine, which we know our members love, but but they weren't, our membership is free. To join QCC is free, and they weren't paying for the magazine. So we were just producing it from the revenues that we generate with the partnerships that we have through that we've developed over the years. What we've realized is we couldn't track that. We couldn't track conversion. We didn't know what value did that really have for our members or for our partners.
Yeah.
And we really realized that digital was the way to go. So
Mm-hmm.
it was so difficult to leave that behind, knowing that it was a cherished product. But we've also realized we've delivered another type of product that is equally accepted. And if we pick the right topics, which we have, whether it's finance or health, we've really truly engaged our members. And rather than talking to them one way, we've now engaged two-way conversations with them, from our webinars, from our e-blasts, them being able to email us and ask questions. It's not just a pick up the phone and ask us.
Yeah.
So that's been also incredible.
So you really dove into who your audience is. You broke them out into niches, into segments, and then you figured out what do these audience members want. And now it's a conversation with them instead of here's a logo from a company.
Yes.
Delivered. It's more, how can we connect you with companies and sponsors, and how can those sponsors get value and give value?
Exactly.
And for many sponsorship seekers, what you just described is a monumental shift enough, let alone doing it while you're doing all of this other stuff in the background. So my goodness, hats off to you.
Thank you.
So through our work together, were there aha moments, or where you thought, we've been doing it this way and we need to make a shift?
I think we knew, so one of the things that we were doing is we knew we were offering things for free to our members, and we knew that there has to be a value there, but it was defining that value. And that's where we looked at all our options.
Yeah.
And we found you through Kasai, I think, and we brought you in, you explained what you were doing, and it's been one of the most rewarding programs that the team has gone through last summer was your activation program. For us to actually brainstorm and talk together, it united us. We bring in the data information from what we're receiving from our members. We've cleaned our database, but now truly trying to value what we offer to our members, and if it's not directly to our members, what we've offered to our partners, and putting a number behind that. So whereas everything was free before, it's now, we've had our first success story through the tool that you offer, the activation tool. I've been able to quantify what a webinar would be, what an e-blast would be. I've pitched it to one of our partners, and I was able to convert, because we have Google Analytics and just through our webinar process, able to provide that partner, okay, this many people attended, we sent an e-blast dedicated to that, the attendees thereafter, and what our partner offered was a free analysis of the product for their situation, and no obligation to buy. And then we've confirmed that I think it was over 70% actually opened the email, and then 18 people actually went to their web address. And I know that after talking to that client, 3 people actually called them to ask, and 1 converted to a sale, which is an excellent story, which not even 3 months ago could I have done this. So that Amazing. Is a direct result out of your program.
Amazing. So you go from having all of these things that you're giving basically companies for free to get in front of their target market and your membership. We go through this process together, and it's like, well, let's value these things and see, are they actually worth nothing? And we discover that I won't say the amounts, but that they're worth definitely more than nothing.
Yes.
And so I remember that conversation where, we had quite a few people on the phone, and it's like, oh, Will they pay for this?
Exactly.
You
Yes.
bring it to market, you sell it, but then you did something that is marketing at its best, right? It's not just put a logo on this webinar, give us money.
Mm-hmm.
It's put a logo on this webinar, help shape the content perhaps. Then we're going to actually measure whether or not we delivered customers to
Yes.
you.
Mm-hmm.
How did it feel to be able to do that with a sponsor?
It felt great.
I bet.
To be honest, it's just to have an example and know, okay, we can do this. So now it's about, we have the example. I need to build more case studies is what I'm calling this. But it also allows me, my sales pitch going forward to new prospective partners to say, this is how it works. And we take you from one end to the other. And it's not just, oh, I stop here and you're in front of my audience. It's, we can confirm, as you would say, it's not necessarily about the sale, but how many people do I bring in front of you? And then it's your job, once I bring those people in front of you, to convert to your, as a sale for you.
Yeah.
So we've been able to track that whole process. And that's what's exciting, to actually see it live versus not having any information, any data. And so we jumped into the deep end and we've got an excellent result because of it.
I love that. Like that's proof positive that you have an opportunity.
Yes.
And, I think there's a lot of fear, in particular in the nonprofit space. Like, I don't want to have to give them my email address. It's not really ethical and probably not legal in most cases to even do, or certainly not compliant with anti-spam and privacy laws. And so, but the idea that you can create something so attractive to your audience that they happily connect with the sponsor.
Yes.
That's bringing them value. And then your sponsor's only talking to people who want to talk to them versus I could put your logo in front of 30,000 people.
Exactly.
But I don't know how to measure return on investment. Being able to say, this is the actions they took. I mean, it's so empowering when you're in selling sponsorship to be able to do that.
Yes.
I love it. That's a great story.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah, I bet. And then, we never let ourselves off the hook as sponsorship professionals, as fundraisers. And it's like, okay, now I have to go sell 300 of them. Well,
now I want to go bigger. And I'm back at your doorstep. How do I scale this up, right? So I do have I'm starting my base, but I'm envisioning strategizing for the future and what could this look like? And how do I set myself up for success for this growth?
Yeah. Very different feeling from, we've got this membership, we've got this database, it's got to be worth something to someone, to now you kind of have this roadmap for scaling up.
Yes.
Very cool. So then this is a good segue to the question, how has our work together changed how you think of sponsorship and or working with companies?
With regards to sponsorship, it's internally, how it's changed is everything has a dollar value for me now. And it's making sure within my organization, everybody thinks that way as well. It's as a united front internally as well as externally. So everybody's got to be on board that we can't just be offering something for free because it's good for the membership. It's actually, if we're offering it for free, what exponential value is coming back? Is it growing my membership size? There has to be something tangible, quantifiable that we can measure to say, okay, otherwise everything should be on the table. One piece was bringing in sponsors and providing a cost to that. The other piece is we're offering these webinars for free. Well, that's now on the table. Should we not be charging our membership something? What is that? So, and what does that look like? So that will be some of the discussions going forward. And then, so it's coming from both perspectives, bringing in new partners that want to be, but also we offer value to our memberships that understand that, and our members will want to buy into our product and believing in that, that there is value in there. Yeah,
it's so interesting, that kind of money mindset where when we give things away for free, the value we assign to it is zero. Even if it's at a subconscious level. Then you start to charge your sponsors for the right to work with you because you've got a valuable audience. And now you're looking at your organization thinking, wait a minute, everything we do is actually valuable. And we need to charge a price that's appropriate for the value that we're kind of offering into the world. And so that conversation wasn't really happening
No.
when I first connected with you. And now it's hearing you say basically everything has a dollar value. And, you know, we kind of paint ourselves in a corner in sponsorship, in particular in the nonprofit space. We think if it's good for our mission, if it's good for our membership, we'll just do it for free.
Yes.
We'll just get companies to give us the thing for free. We won't charge the companies. What we don't realize is that if you want to then make money from companies and you've given away all the good stuff for free, that means you have to charge for things you don't want to do. And that's precisely backwards. We want to only do things our membership loves, our database loves, and charge market value for it.
Yeah.
And so that shift for you guys is awesome.
And it's exponential. Like literally, our program ended on August 26, 2020, and here we are January 12th. And I've learned so much, and we're growing so fast within 6 months.
Yeah. 6 months, you've moved from an in-person to a digital entity. You've done tons of audience research and audience analysis, and the things that you used to be giving away to sponsors for free, you now charge for. And you've actually proven by selling it that in fact, the market is interested in paying for these things.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. Congratulations.
Thank you. Lots of great learning.
Yeah. So for those who are like, you know, I'm a nonprofit, do I really want, like, do I actually have a marketing opportunity? Should I go down this path? Should I be practicing sponsorship? What do you say to those people, or to yourself even 7 months ago before we started doing this?
What do I say? I would say that it's possible. The opportunity is there. You have to identify, like you said something interesting in your coaching session, where you have to identify what the obstacle is, and then work through that obstacle, that solution. So ours was, at one point it's a database, it's another point we're giving away for free. So identify what the strategic issue is, and then working as a team, because we do have a great team of people, and that we all jump in and find what the right solution is for that. And it's not always going to come internally. And that's where the example, we brought the experts in to help us solve that problem. Yeah. And so that's more of an organizational analysis, but if you can identify what your obstacle is and do the research and implement the work and the time and bring in the expertise, it's all achievable. And then then it's a hold on to your seats, because you grow fast. And so now that's the other challenge, but it's a welcome challenge. Yeah. Does that answer the question? Oh yeah, that's beautiful. That's really well said. It's like, we always say, or I always say to people, we need to diagnose before we can prescribe, right? You can't just say, all I need is to get in front of a decision maker. Well, so says everyone, until you get in front of a decision maker. And then they tell you you have no audience data, right? Like, what you actually need to do, I believe, is step back, look at your sponsorship program and say, what's actually broken here? And sometimes you need an external set of eyes on that to say, this is what's broken. But then what you said was really eloquent, which is, then you have to put in the work. Wanting sponsorship is not sufficient. You actually have to transform into a marketing opportunity, even if you're a nonprofit. It's irrelevant to the prospect. But then you're absolutely right. Once you make that transition, you've got the audience data, you've got cool activations, you've got good sales material, you're having discovery conversations, hold on to your seat, because it works.
and then it breaks something else in your business and you have to go fix that now.
Yes, and that's where we're at.
I want you to be so successful in sponsorship that it breaks something downstream. And so Anna is here to say that something else is broken, but it's good.
Yes, but it's a good feeling, and I'm happy to solve that next obstacle. Really, that's what businesses and sponsorship or etc. It's identifying what the next obstacle is and how to make it more streamlined, efficient, and but it's focused on at the end of the day, success to your members, but success to the bottom line in the organization to make sure we're bringing in the funds, the dollar values, so that we can then offer that better programming to our membership, and it's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
For both of us to grow, right?
Yeah, well said. If you give everything away for free, then actually you're not serving your membership, you're not serving your donors, you're not serving your mission. It is required of us to charge what we're worth in order to be able to actually achieve our vision of the world in the nonprofit space.
Yes, exactly.
Well, listen, I really, really appreciate you taking the time to talk sponsorship with me and to share some of your reflections and insights. I'm glad that after, I guess it's been about 6 months, you're still pleased that we work together. You're not running for the hills.
Not at all. I'm back knocking at your door going, wait, what about this? What about the next one?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I love it. So is there anything else that you want to share with specifically the nonprofit people who are like, I'm nervous to go down this sponsorship path? Is there anything else you want to share with the people of the internet before we end this?
I'd only say the value is there. It's been a pleasure working with Chris. He's done so much to open our eyes to sponsorship. Again, the work is within your team, but it is doable, and it's exciting. And it's exciting in a way that I'm pleasing my partners, which will want to bring in more partners, and it's pleasing that my members are reacting, and I can see that with the success of how many webinars we've had, and just their comments coming back and forth, and the survey results. So
love it.
It's the effort put in, you will receive back what you were looking for, and there is a lot of growth opportunity there, and that's what's really exciting. So much to go after next. It's I can't wait for my next 6 months.
I love it. Well said. Well, thank you so much, Anna. Really appreciate it, and always love catching up.
Yes, thank you very much, Chris, for having me.
A pleasure.